Oh, hello everyone. My name is Luke, aka Mr. A. Just reading a great book over here. I was about to get lost in it, but then I remembered I was supposed to make another discussion video for you guys. If you couldn't already tell from the title of today's discussion video, I'm going to be talking about a bit of a touchy subject, a bit of a sad subject, and one that also hits a bit too close to home. Because today we're going to be talking about making fun of poor people. Something that I have seen the people of this generation very disappointingly do way too often. Now, I understand more than anyone, it may be surprising for someone who's a bit younger than a lot, but I understand that there is a lot of bad people in this world. People who are hateful, people who are despicably cruel, and people who like the mocking of others just because they think they're better. But this right here is something that never fails to kind of make my rage level go from 1 to 100. Making fun of someone just because they are not as financially successful as you, or as financially successful as you must be in order to survive in this fucked up ass country that we all live in, is the equivalent of making fun of someone with a terminal illness and they're going to die soon. You are essentially making fun of someone because they are in a very sad and unfortunate situation in their life. And instead of showing compassion and understanding and maybe just a little bit of sympathy, you instead mock them and laugh at them because you are not in their situation and they are. They're in a sad, unfortunate, and desperate situation while you aren't. But how would you feel if you were in the exact same situation that they were in? How would you feel if someone came up to you or just mocked you without even showing up in front of your face and was just mocking you from a distance, just looking at you and laughing and thinking to themselves, this person is poor, they got no money. They can't even afford food. They live in a trailer park. They can't even afford a nice apartment or just somewhere to even lay their head at night. How would you feel? How would you feel if someone treated you with the same hatefulness that you treat others? You probably wouldn't like it. You would probably feel pretty bad about it. You would probably feel even more helpless and alone than you are even being in that situation in the first place, because people, for some reason, like to make others' sufferings worse sometimes. I can't see why. I can't even see how it's possible for someone to be so horrifically despicable and so horrifically evil and hateful to actually take joy and pleasure in making someone's situation even worse than it already is. People in this world are more than just fucked up. This entire generation is fucked up. And I see people who do more than just make fun of people who are poor. I see people who make fun of others who have even worse situations. People who are sick or dying, or even people who have disabilities, or people who maybe they don't have 2 arms, maybe they have some kind of deformity. Making fun of others' unfortunate circumstances is one of the most hateful things I have ever seen from an entire generation. I know that the previous generations done this as well, but I'm just seeing it so much more frequently now, and that's why I'm making this video right now. The way so many people are today makes me sick. It makes me sad to be living among people like that, because I can imagine them doing that same thing to me and others. And I don't know how I would react. I wouldn't call myself a violent person, but sometimes when the times are the way they are, I tend to become violent. I tend to become almost as hateful as the people of this generation that I'm talking about in today's video. And I hate being like that. I hate the person I become when I allow the evilness and wickedness of others to directly influence my own violence and my own wickedness. Because the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, we're all wicked. There's not a single person in this world that hasn't done something evil or something bad or even downright immoral. It's very hard to live a life without doing something like this, doing something that puts us in those classes of being straight up hateful, evil, or wicked. But the difference between someone who is good and bad, I've said this before on the channel, I'll say it again. A good person feels remorseful for the things they've done, the bad things they've done, and the guilt and the way they feel, the people that they were once upon a time, becomes a thing of the past when they become better people because they actually want to become better people. Then there's the bad people. The people who don't change because it feels too good to want to change being the bad person that they enjoy being. And that's what this generation has come to. We've come to a generation where we make fun of people now for not having a lot of money. People who are in desperate situations, people who have kids that they can't feed. They can't even feed themselves. They can't afford housing. They can't afford food, water. They suffer because of the unfortunate situations that they're in. And you may say, oh, just go and get a job. You'll get a job and you'll have money and you'll make it. But do you really know how hard it actually is out there? It's so easy to suggest a solution, but to actually have the strength to actually do what you must to get out of that situation you are in is much easier said than done. Do you know just how hard it is for someone to actually get a job if they're poor and to be able to have just enough money to be able to feed themselves or their families if they must? It's very hard, and it's very, very exhausting, difficult, painful. I once saw someone in my own neighborhood. I'm not sure if he still lives here or not, but he was poor, very poor. Thankfully, he was able to barely afford his rent, but I remember he would work all day, sometimes all night, and he would be too exhausted to even feed and put food in his starving belly. Making fun of people like that is one of the most despicable things I've ever seen. And like I said before, people make fun of others for other problems. People like to mock people's unfortunate situations and make fun of them for the circumstances that they're currently dealing with in their lives, and it never fails to make me sick to my stomach. I spit on people like that. I spit on the people of this generation who are so unbelievably hateful and wicked. People like that make me sick and make me fear for the future of humanity, the future for this generation, the future of us in general. I don't understand why human beings are the way they are. I don't want to say it's in our nature, but it's so my horrific realization that so many people are like this. It starts to make me feel like maybe it is in our nature. Maybe it is human nature to be wicked, to be evil, to be hateful. Maybe it's just the way some people's brains are hardwired. I don't know, but all I do know is that it is a very pathetic and a very pity shame to see how people are today. To make fun of people just for being poor, or to make fun of people for any unfortunate situation that they're in, it's so pathetic. To have the audacity to even laugh or to find amusement in someone else's suffering is both sadistic, evil, and wicked. So much wickedness. And I'm not trying to get really biblical here, but it once said in the Bible that during the final days, before the return of Jesus Christ, people would be like this. People would be more evil, more ugly, more wicked. Either the end of days is approaching, or maybe it's because this country has lost God. This country has lost God, and they have abandoned God. They didn't just lose God, they abandoned him. They've abandoned religion. They've abandoned Christianity. And even the people who are Christian, most Christians these days don't even know what it actually means to be a follower of Christ. They can't even call themselves Christians, but they do, because they think they're Christians. But are they actually Christians? Do they actually live like Christians? Do they actually have a mindset of someone who is actually a real Christian and a real follower of Jesus Christ? No. No, they don't. Just more unfortunate, more sadness, just another unfortunate aspect of our everyday society and reality that we live in. But, I do have a lot of blame for social media as well. I feel like social media has kind of corrupted this generation, because there's a reason why Generation Z is so much more unbelievably fucked in the head than the previous generation. I do blame social media, and I also blame it on a lack of mental health care and maybe a lack of better parenting. If you raise your child like a piece of shit, then they're going to become pieces of shit in their adult life. So, there's all kinds of factors, but that's just my 2 cents. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little TED Talk, if you can even call it a TED Talk, discussion video, whatever. I just want to get that out there. I'm just getting really tired of seeing all this fucked up shit. I'm getting tired of people, This is how society creates their own monsters. Evil spreads like a disease. When you treat people with wickedness, those people, those victims, they become wicked themselves as a result because of the way they were treated by others' hateful actions. It's just another unfortunate reality that we must accept or do something about, if you want, if you try, maybe. I try and spread kindness wherever I go, but even for me, it's getting hard. Anyways, try not to get so depressing and down here, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion video. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think about this? Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next discussion video. Take care, y'all. Peace out.